What's going on, everybody? Stars 10P Aviation here, and welcome back to Growth and Change, the model airport series where I grow a tiny municipal airport to a bustling international hub with a new thing every day. So we've kind of skipped over 2 months here because a lot has changed. I've been pretty busy the last 2 months, but I am back and with a new update for Juniper Bay. Now, a lot has changed in these 2 months, and we'll just say fictionally, it's been definitely over a year. First of all, there's a new general aviation, FBO, and cargo ramp over there. We also have a lengthened runway to capacitate some larger aircraft. Also new is we have three new airlines, one of which actually came a little earlier, kind of in the September range, and then actually already announced a second route from the airport, which is pretty cool to see. Also new, the terminal has been expanded quite some. Phase one of the terminal expansion project, from expanding from just this area here, was to add this branch. Phase two added this branch of like check-in facilities, as well as two jet bridges here. And phase three adds a new part of terminal there, and then more jet bridges across the whole airport. And after that, we'll see what happens after that. But anyhow, a lot has changed. So starting us off here, let's start over at gate 10 because we got to show off some new aircraft. Right here at gate 10, we have this Northwest Air Connection Saab 340. Now, don't get it confused with Northwest Airlines. This is a completely separate entity that bought some of the legal rights to use the name, because it's actually based here in the Pacific Northwest. It's not really flying anywhere else. So anyhow, finally, the lease with WestJet has ended, and Northwest Air Connect has their own aircraft in their own livery now on both their Saab and CRJ-200 fleet. That fleet is projected to grow in the future. Anyhow, this is one of their first full house livery aircraft, one of their 5 Saabs they own right now, and it is currently heading out on their new route to Spokane, Washington, after a previous flight in from Portland, Oregon today, which has been brought to 4 times weekly because a lot of demand to Portland. It's a pretty short route, but very high demand. So anyhow, that is a sum of Northwest Air Connect's operations. They also operate the CRJ-200 on the Portland frequency, but it's not in today. We'll see that probably next update. Moving over to gate 9, we have a new airline at the airport. Welcome Contour Airlines to Juniper Bay. They are operating the Embraer 145 on 2 times weekly Las Vegas services, which are essential air service contracts. They've been available for quite some time. I believe the EAS contracts were available since, I believe, 2008, but no one took them. And finally, someone has taken the contract, which was Contour Airlines. And they are operating the Embraer 145 to Las Vegas today. It's a very important new route, and it's the second longest route from the airport, the longest of which we'll talk about in a minute. And it's really nice to see a new airline at the airport. Anyhow, let's move on to another new airline. Pushing back from gate 8 here, we have this American Eagle CRJ-200. This aircraft is currently on the flight down to Phoenix in Arizona. This is a once daily flight operated by the CRJ-200. It was deemed necessary because it is a very high demand route, and it is currently the longest route from Juniper Bay, but I'm sure in the future that might change, but for now it is the longest route from the airport, almost equal to a route that we'll talk about later. So this aircraft is currently pushing today on the way to Phoenix, and it is in the Air Wisconsin house livery, as the aircraft is operated by Air Wisconsin. I might have to get myself some more American aircraft because I do kind of need dedicated American aircraft. I'll get those pretty soon. Anyhow, let's move on to the next aircraft. Moving on over to gate 6, we have this United Express CRJ-550. This aircraft is currently on the turn over to Seattle North International Airport in Washington. It is a fictional airport that I also do updates for. And this aircraft is heading up to Seattle North. The frequencies have been taken to 3 times daily on United CRJs And I believe we'll be getting the Embraer 175 on this route actually pretty soon, which is very exciting. Not much more to report on than that. So let's move on to the next gate. And a new service from United here. We have this United Express CRJ 550 heading out to Denver, Colorado, which is the third longest route from the airport, I think. It might actually be the second. I might have been wrong earlier. But Denver, Colorado services have been started with the CRJ 550 instead of the Dash 200, which definitely shows how much demand there is for Denver. I'm sure we'll be getting even larger aircraft pretty soon. So the Denver services are currently at once daily as well, and these are going to be operated by the CRJ 550. However, there is rumor that it will get twice daily E175s coming pretty soon, so we'll have to see about that. So anyhow, United is now really growing out of the airport. I believe they have the most routes out of the airport besides Northwest Air Connect, and they are operating these CRJs, which is very fun to see. And still on the CRJ 200 here, we have this United Express CRJ 200 on the flight out to San Francisco, California. This is also likely going to be upgraded to the CRJ 550 pretty soon here. It's a pretty high frequency flight on the CRJ2, but yeah, anyhow, this aircraft is operated by SkyWest in the SkyWest House livery and is heading out to San Francisco today on the round trip services. Again, not much to report on. No new aircraft and no new route there, so pretty business as usual. Anyway, let's move on to some big news. The third and final airline of today's video that is new to the airport is Alaska Airlines. Now, they operated a lot of flights around the Pacific Northwest, and finally they have decided to show up at Juniper Bay. So Alaska currently operates 2 routes out of the airport. It was initially just 1, but already, because it's been so long since the last update, they are going with 2 routes. So here we have the Alaska Airlines, operated by SkyWest E175. This aircraft is currently heading out to Seattle North International Airport in Washington. They are competing with United and another airline on this route. Anyhow, this aircraft is currently taking up the only jet bridge gate on the airport. There will be another jet bridge gate where the United CRJ 200 is currently parked, and then that will be it for jet bridges until the next expansion phase. But this is the only jet bridge gate right now, which means it's the gate that most of the E175s come into that Alaska operates. So anyhow, this aircraft is heading out to Seattle North on the now, I believe, 2 times daily frequency. Sorry for that little pause there, everybody. It was not deciding to pause. Anyhow, moving on to Gate 2A, which is a brand new gate alongside 2B. Now, these are pretty interesting gates because 2A is a narrow body capable gate. However, 2B pretty much renders 2A useless because it is a wide body gate, which it can actually have wide bodies flying to the gate, which is pretty cool. It hasn't been used and it likely won't be used for a long time, but for any wide body diversions that the airport might get, they do have this gate handy. Anyhow, Delta also started a new route over to Seattle North on a twice daily service on the CRJ-900. Unfortunately, this means Salt Lake City is going to be downgraded from the CRJ-900, and it will be served on board the CRJ-700 in probably next month. Anyhow, the CRJ-900 is heading out to Salt Lake City, and will be making the flight out, or made the flight in from Seattle North a little bit prior. Kind of sad to see that CRJ-9s are going away from Salt Lake, but I'm sure they'll come back pretty soon once demand proves that it needs to be upgraded. Sorry for my stuttering, everybody. I'm pretty tired today. Anyhow, let's move on to the next aircraft. Taxiing over to its gate after landing on runway 36, we have this Alaska Airlines Embraer 175, this time operated by Horizon Air in the Horizon Air Retro Color Scheme. This is on Alaska's second route out of the airport, all the way down to Los Angeles, California. And this is a pretty ambitious route, but there is a lot of demand for it. So Alaska is currently operating a 3 times weekly LAX route on the E-175. They're kind of just testing the waters to see if this route's going to be financially sustainable in the near future, but I'm really excited to see Alaska already expanding so shortly after they arrived. Anyhow, this aircraft is coming in from Los Angeles and will be heading back out to Los Angeles in a little bit. And here we have a unique visitor, the first narrow-body charter on the airport. While narrow-body charters have came in the past, they haven't been on the updates. I am really happy to see a larger aircraft like this be used on a charter flight. So anyhow, this aircraft is a World Atlantic McDonnell Douglas MD-83, and it just came in today from the actually relatively short flight in from Reno, Nevada. Maybe that route will come in the future, but it was on a quick little casino hop over to Reno, and will be coming back to Reno afterwards. So I do have to kind of think of some of these routes on the spot. I don't have a sheet on me. But anyhow, this aircraft's heading out to Reno. Really nice to see some larger aircraft use the brand new FBO gates. Speaking of brand new FBO gates, the airport now has 2 FBO gates. We have a larger one and a smaller one out of the new FBO, which is kind of just in the center of the frame there. Anyhow, let's move on to our hangar operations. Parked in its hangar here, we have this Cessna Caravan, which is privately owned. Its last flight was over to Walla Walla, Washington, and it's parked here and has no future flight plans that are recorded right now. Pulling into its hangar after a flight in today from Troutdale Airport in Portland. This aircraft is currently going to be parking here and then making the flight all the way over to Redmond Municipal Airport, also in Oregon. Loading up cargo here, we have this FedEx Cessna Caravan. It's currently making the flight in today from Portland, Oregon, but will be heading out on the other FedEx route with the feeder aircraft up to lovely Seattle North International Airport. And the final, dare I say it, most important aircraft of today's update, we have the FedEx Boeing 757-200 freighter. And today it's on the round-trip service out to Memphis, Tennessee. That's right, FedEx is recently announced the FedEx 757 will be flying all the way to Memphis, Tennessee, which technically means it's the largest aircraft that serves the airport, but also the longest route. But it is cargo, so I'm not going to count that. But anyhow, this aircraft is currently heading out to Memphis and loading on some cargo. It's great to see that we finally have a dedicated freight operator that's using an actual aircraft instead of a Cessna Caravan. Hopefully, UPS decides to announce maybe a Louisville service in the future. I could see DHL maybe operating a flight over to Cincinnati, Ohio. Or was it Cleveland? I forgot which one was their hub. But anyhow, it's very promising and very nice seeing this aircraft. And without further ado, that is a wrap on today's pretty big Juniper Bay growth and change update. A lot is new and a lot is coming in the next update. The next update will include a new jet bridge, new terminal segment, and perhaps a new airline. We'll see what I can work up in a little bit. So thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. I'll have plenty more content coming to you guys very shortly. Yeah, I'm finally back, finally uploading again. It's very nice to see. All right, have a great rest of your day.